Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I want to acknowledge the service of both of you to our country and welcome you to this committee, and am delighted with your qualifications and look forward to supporting both of you. With that said, I have a question, and Secretary McCarthy, you may be better because you're in the Pentagon now. Has a legal opinion been prepared by the General Counsel of any of the military services or the Defense Department on the legality of the use of these military construction funds for the border wall construction?
Yes, sir.
And could you make that available to the committee?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I believe you've been given an illegal order. I think that what's being done here is a gross violation of the Constitution and the fundamental principles of the Constitution, which is the separation of powers and the bestowing of the appropriation and spending power on the Congress. Article 1, Section 9 could not be more clear. No money shall be drawn from the Treasury. No money shall be drawn from the Treasury but in consequence of appropriations made by law. That couldn't be more clear. Now, the fig leaf that the administration is using is Title 10, Section 2808, which talks about troops being deployed in a national emergency. But even that doesn't fit because it says the troops, any expenditures and the taking out of military construction funds may be used for projects undertaken to support the troops. And this project has nothing to do with supporting the troops. Where they're talking about roads or barracks or defensive positions to actually support the troops. I want to see that legal opinion because I just can't believe it holds any water. And what shocks me is the failure of this Congress to stand up for its prerogatives. If this goes through, it establishes a precedent that essentially transfers a significant portion of the power of the purse to the administration. Not just this administration, but any administration. We're establishing a precedent here that will haunt this institution, I believe, for many years. I appreciate that neither of you have a role in this. You're doing what the chain of command reports, but I believe it's a legal order, and therefore I'd like to see that legal opinion that justifies what's going on here. One comment to Senator Heinrich's question, maybe the president misstated he meant New Mexico is going to pay for the war, not Mexico, because that's what's happening here, and it's not right and it's not in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. Secretary McCarthy, the Army's been going through a substantial period of modernization for the past 2 years. A lot has been accomplished standing up at the Army Futures Command. What's gone right and what's gone wrong? What do you feel is the things that have worked the best, and where do we still have gaps?
Senator, we believe we have the organizational construct right. The three pillars of the command, features and concepts, combat development, combat systems, where the acquisition officials are dotted line in. This cross-functional design brings the stakeholders together so you can get unity of effort, unity of command.
And that's actually working.
Sir, so we stood up the cross-functional teams in the fall of 17, and we have prototypes delivered in 18 months that we are testing. I fired the next-gen squad weapon at Fort Bragg last July. We are testing Spike Enlos. We've tested extended range cannon, fired a wraparound from 39 kilometers to 70. The prototypes are delivering, and we're starting to yield results, so that reducing the span time is everything.
Are there,
we'll go 5 to 7 years to 18 months.
Are there elements that we could be doing better?
Of course, Senator. I think that when, much of what we're going to see, the true litmus test is if the prototypes actually are the ones we want and we want to scale them. We buy LRIP tranches, is how the decisions will be made from the Futures Command at the senior-most level when we slap the table on a next-gen combat vehicle, the lift platform, making those hard trades up top when you start to buy LRIPs. So we're not out of the woods yet, but there is great progress in the way we have gone about the requirements process, which is what Senator McCain really pushed on.
And I'm sure you're going to stay. I'm sure you're going to stay on it, Ms. Barrett. Just a couple of comments. You and I talked yesterday about the importance of maintenance, and I think we should be doing a much better job of readiness in terms of our fleet of airplanes, getting them, maintaining them, having maintainers we not only have a pilot shortage, we have a maintainer shortage. And also, I would hope when you do the acquisition process, and this really goes for both services, that in this day and age, we should be buying, along with the platform, the intellectual property rights to all the parts of that platform so that we can 3D print our own parts rather than having to go back to the manufacturer or go back to a supply chain that could be slow, expensive, and inefficient. So I hope that that will be part of your acquisition strategy.
Senator, we're investing in additive manufacturing, where our Center of Excellence is up in Rock Island, Illinois, at the Arsenal. The challenge we're going to have going forward is the intellectual property rights as we work through that with major defense contractors, for example. So it may require some support from the committees of jurisdiction in particular.
You'll certainly have it from this senator.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Barrett, you're going to bill the same?
Similarly. Thank you very much, Senator. Yes, so the intellectual property is an important part of what our acquisitions need to have in order to have operability.
Thank you both very much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it and look forward to working with you.